Bitcoin's hitting an all-time high, but AI coins are stealing the spotlight. So AI in your crypto portfolio rehash. Let's just cover what I've been talking about for the last couple months. So why AI to begin with? Well, AI is where I expect to see the most product market fit in the crypto market for the foreseeable future. In compute, training, and agentic systems, AI systems built on-chain, like on-chain rails, they actually have some competitive advantage to the centralized competitors that we see from OpenAI, Meta, Amazon, Google. These AI assets that I've been talking about, they are super volatile, but I do think that they will outperform this cycle, as we've seen today, in that many AI assets have been going up aggressively now that Bitcoin is testing its all-time highs again. Volatile, but a good bet. So very quickly, I'm just going to cover the categories of AI assets in crypto, assets I like in the market right now, and then how to manage that in your portfolio. So Coinbase has done us a big service by collecting the entities in AI crypto right now. These are entities that are building some sort of AI service for on-chain rails. There's three large categories here. We have infrastructure, then we have services, then we have agents and AI apps. So infrastructure is the compute. Services are the service providers who are helping people use compute to build like consumer-facing products. And the agents and the AI apps are those consumer-facing projects that are using these services and the infrastructure layer together. So just to zoom in here, we've got some names that we're going to recognize, and there's a lot here that I don't recognize. So we've talked about Griffin, AI agent platform, Heyanon. These guys ship like crazy, so we're going to talk about that in a moment. Tank, it's like an agent that monitors your computer screen and can take control of your crypto transactions like through your computer. That's kind of a crazy thing. The trading DeFi agents, of course, we've got AI16Z, we've got Vader, we'll talk about that in a bit. We got Banker. I really like Banker. That project is doing a lot. They're shipping fast. They've got Binance integrations. All of these trade your crypto for you in some way. Billy Bets is actually a very interesting project. It's been invested in by Delphi Digital, and it's a sport betting agent, and it's actually been making some big wins. The idea is that this AI can consume more data on sports than any individual human bettor, and so it collects that information, makes predictions, and makes bets on-chain sport betting markets. Gaming and agentic metaverses, I'm not really big into this area. I can't really speak about it. Service agents, I love the service agents. This is going to be big in the future. We've got AI XBT. So I think some of the insights that XBT tosses out are incredible. You can just find it on X. You can use AI XBT. You can link to its API. So if you are looking to get the insights that this agent is collecting from X and from its other sources, you can pay for it. And I think that concept of an agent just doing something in the market that you want to build into your own product, that concept's worth $1 trillion. Some consumer AI projects here. I'm not too familiar with any of these aside from Clanker. Entertainment agents. So this is all pretty greasy. These are all basically AI generated girls who you can pay to do like actions for you or do things for you. Luna is the most famous one. You can pay it like $1 USDT and she'll like do an emote for you. And it's kind of cringy and uncomfortable right now, but it will become $1 trillion industry in time, because as we see from like phenomena like OnlyFans, things like that, there's like a huge industry where people are going to be wanting to just have that type of product. AI app stores, I'm not very familiar with that. Commerce payments, I think a lot of this is going to go into the payment platforms that we already know. I think the agents are going to be able to just directly find each other on chain. I don't know of any reason why they need their own payment protocol to find each other. That's kind of the advantage of building an agent on chain. Agent launchpads, the big one here is Virtual's protocol. I'll talk about that in a moment as well. Spectral is another. I haven't checked in them in a couple months, but these guys, they help you launch agents into the marketplace and then trade those agents. So some of these agents like Luna and several of these other agents have come from Virtuals, and you can trade them, you can invest in them on Virtuals because the agent itself is tokenized. So you can think of it as like, imagine a contract worker. You could own that contract worker. They're out there in the market working away, and if you think it's like a particularly competent contract worker, you should invest in them now because they're going to have like high revenue earnings in the future as the market recognizes how useful they are, and that revenue will come back to you as an early investor. Virtuals and Spectral are two protocols that I'm familiar with there. Agent frameworks and tools, Eliza OS. We're here at New Market Trading. We're actually building with the Eliza OS framework right now on a to-be announced product that I'm quite excited about. Coinbase's agent kit is quite incredible. So this is Coinbase's attempt to provide the framework that others will use to build their agents. And Coinbase, the company, wants that, of course, because as you're building these agents that you can invest in, where are they going to be listed? Coinbase. At the infrastructure layer down here, we've got Kaido. What else? Sahara AI. That token is coming soon and I'm excited for it. Decentralized compute, these names we're familiar with. This is probably the first area of AI. Render Network has been around for years. Akash has been around for years. Aether's been around for a while. Hyperbolic, big company. I wish they had a token. Models and inference. Sentient is the only name I'm familiar with here. Confidential compute. So this is going to be probably the most technical projects on this list, I would imagine. This is going to be zero knowledge proof. How you can know AI agents are doing the work without knowing exactly what work they did. So for example, AI agent is spending money on my behalf. How can we prove that the AI agent has actually done the tasks given to it correctly without announcing to the entire market how much money it is spent for me? TEEs, trusted execution environments, training, and decentralized intelligence and coordination. So BitTensor, Near, these are some big names here. So much of this I'm not familiar with. The purpose I'm kind of going into it here is to just give example that this sector is booming, and it's why I'm wanting to draw everyone's attention to it, because this is where the brain capital of this entire industry is going. So some assets I like in the market right now. This is a recap from the previous 2 months. Like Coral, Lay from Loomlay Protocol, Pin from Pinglink, Vader, IO, OW, Virtual Vert AI, Serve, Anon from Hey Anon. I can talk about these some depth, but me in the Q&A after or just later in the office hours, gone over each of these before and why I like them. What I want to drill in right now is how to manage assets like this in your portfolio, because this is what the questions I were getting were in reference to. Like, I find an AI agent asset that I like or an AI asset that I like, now what? Well, always come back to the basics. Number one, just do your weekly practice. I talk about this in the intro to the program. I want our team to be reinforcing it. I like to do Friday mornings. You just got to pick one morning before work. I suggest do Fridays because most of the world is pretty chill on Friday. And so you can kind of use that to find some peace and quiet at 6 a.m. Spend 2 hours reviewing your portfolio, looking at what Yield School and New Market Trading has produced in terms of content, because all of our content is going to be out by Friday, and then log the decisions that you make, if any. Sometimes you don't have to make any decisions. But for AI assets, I'm going to be taking decisions as frequently as weekly. When I review my portfolio, it might be every week. I'm going to be making a change, making a purchase, making a sale, because for AI assets, it's just a much more irrational market. It's much more volatile. Some of these assets, you can get a 500% gain without any matching fundamentals, and you should take profits on that. If nothing fundamental has changed, but this has just popped, you know what, just take the profits on that. And I'm comparing that to blue chips and high market cap alts. So think ETH, think Aave, think Hype. Like for me personally, and for many of the people in New Market Trading and Yield School, I think you should be making buy-sell actions much less frequently. So I would say for a lot of the people in our membership, maybe once a month. As always, meet with your associate every 3 to 4 weeks. They're doing this 8 hours a day. They're just going to be better at it than you. So meet with them. What do I think the portfolios would look like? Well, here's what a balanced portfolio could look like. 70% blue chips, so think Bitcoin, ETH, maybe Sol. 15% alts, 15% AI. And you'll note that I put AI in its own category aside from alts, and I'll speak about why in a moment. This is what aggressive could look like: 50% blue chips, 30% alts, 20% AI, and then here's something more conservative, mostly blue chips. The reason that I put AI in its own category is because AI assets are not beta plays on the blue chips. And this is pretty rare in crypto. And what I mean by a beta play is, like, Aave is a beta on ETH. If ETH does well, Aave will do well. Jupe is a beta on Sol. If Solana does well, so will Jupe. If the base ecosystem does well, then Arrow is a proxy on that. If these L1s and L2s, ETH, Sol, Base, Near, whatever, the alts built on top of those networks will perform well also. But AI assets can perform well or poorly, completely independent of the network they are built on. These assets and the protocols they're built around, they're more consumer focused and they're more market fit dependent. And this is why I like this asset class. And I do think that it's the highest ROI for attention when it comes to investing in crypto. It's just unique. It is where the most progress is going to be over the next couple of years, in my opinion, but it's my opinion because I think I'm right.